you're trying to applaud her. Oh, let's see. Thank you for bringing the first two of the sacred plant medicines, Tina, this morning, along with the healing medicine that you are, the healing balm of forgiveness and love that you are. And I know also being a student of this beloved teacher of teachers, we both have that. Thank you for that, Reverend Juanita, teaching us and reminding us to forgive. Yeah. And this morning I'm filled with nothing but gratitude, with nothing but reverence for this community, for this life divine. And so I've brought with me the other two plant medicines, sweetgrass and tobacco. And it is my intention this morning, before we get into a discussion with Reverend Juanita and Ricki Byars, it is my intention to begin this morning with a prayer of thanksgiving and the gratitude that is deserved. So first, if you were here a couple Sundays ago, I'm not sure if you were or not, I gifted Harold Payne a pouch of a prayer satchel of tobacco. Tobacco is known to be the first of the plant medicines, and it represents the first peoples, which were the plants without photosynthesis. We would not be here, right? Because that is how the single cell became the divine beings that you are. And so to show my gratitude, I take a bit of sacred tobacco, not tobacco that we would smoke today, but tobacco that is grown with intention. And because it is such a medicine, we gift it in our left hand. We hold an intention for what it means. And what it means to me today is so much love, so much thank you. And it is in reciprocity. So I'm deciding to move away from generosity into reciprocity. And what that means is that I know that for everything that is given, something is received, and that is the way of life. And so holding it in my left hand and then turning it to my right hand and offering it to a wisdom keeper, to a medicine person, to a sage, to someone who I am in deep reverence and thanksgiving for. And then they can take it, and as they take from the earth, they can give back to the earth. And so I'm going to make two of these right now. In my left hand, and I hold the intention of communion with the divine through this being of light and life. That they might feel all the love that I have. Okay. And so the first person is Tina Carson. Tina, would you mind standing over here so they could see you? What you guys might not know is that it's Tina's birthday coming up as well, and that she's been in Colorado, and she came back here for us. Yeah. Yes. Yes. And she has done so much to support this community, above and beyond what anybody could imagine. And so not only do I want to gift you, my beloved friend, this tobacco in gratitude for all that you are and all that you've been to me and to this community, but I also want to gift you for your birthday to celebrate and honor your life this moon with a tree, because you are strong and steady and your roots are deep, and you nourish and nurture everyone when they are not filled. And the moon is to remind you that no matter where you are in life, that we're under the same moon, and so you'll never be alone. And I love you. My beloved teacher of teachers, I don't know if you know this, but Reverend Juanita was my practitioner teacher, or a facilitator, and my most, the philosopher turned mystic who I try to study and practice her principles is Emma Curtis Hopkins. She was a beautiful mystic. She taught Ernest Holmes, the founder of our philosophy. And she was known as the teacher of teachers because she taught all of the New Thought leaders. And in such a way, you, Reverend Juanita, have been the teacher of teachers here and for me. And to get to call you my practitioner now and my family, that means everything to me. And so I give you this tobacco to the wisdom keeper in honor. It is so much honor of your life. And I want you to know that everything that you have set an intention to create and to do, it's showing up, baby. It's showing up, and it's doing some healing work. Thank you. And so let us get this party started with, with a prayer of thanksgiving. It is a call and response by the nations coming together, the indigenous nations of the Americas, or what we call the Americas. They came together, and in their own language, they all had the same prayer of thanksgiving. And it was also translated into English. And so this is my new Bible, and I don't mean to offend anyone who takes that offensively. Braiding Sweetgrass, Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teachings of Plants. And so all you guys have to do, if you choose, I'm not going to tell you what to do, is say, and so our minds are one, okay? Okay. If you choose. And you already had, this is from Rachel Rosen, my other teacher, so thank you. Today we have gathered, and and we look upon the faces around us. We see the cycles of life continue. We have been given the duty to live in balance and harmony with each other and all living things. So now let us bring our minds together as we give greetings and thanks to each other as people. And now our minds are one. Now you say, and now our minds are one. Yes, so I'll say it, then you say it. Okay. Oh, we are thankful for our mother, the earth, for she gives us everything that we need for life. She supports our feet as we walk about her earth. It gives us joy that she still continues to care for us, just as she has from the beginning of time. To our mother, we send our thanksgiving, love, and respect. And now our minds are one. Yes. The pledge, we give thanks to all of the waters of the world for quenching our thirst, for providing strength and nurturing life for all beings. We know its power in many forms, waterfalls and rain, mists and streams, rivers and oceans. Ice. We are grateful that the waters are still here and meeting their responsibility to the rest of creation? Can we agree that the water is important to our lives and bring our minds together as one, sending gratitude and thanksgiving? And if so, we can say together, and now our minds are one. And now our minds are one. We turn our thoughts to all of the fish life in the water. They were instructed to cleanse and purify the water. They also give themselves to us as food. We are grateful that they continue to do their duties, and we send the fish our greeting and thanks. And now our minds are one. And now we turn towards the fields, the vast fields of plants. As far as the eye can see, the plants grow, work in many wonders. They sustain many life forms. With our minds gathered together, we give thanks and look forward to seeing plant life for many generations. Now our minds are one. Now our minds are one. When we look out about us, we see that the barriers are still here, providing us with delicious food, those kind of berries. The leaders of the berry is the strawberry, the first to ripen in its spring. Can we agree that we are grateful that the berries are with us in the world and see our thanksgiving, love, and respect to the berries? If so, let us say together, and now our minds are one. Yes. Yes. Now we turn to the medicine herbs of the world. From the beginning, they have instructed to take away sickness. They are always waiting and ready to heal us. We are so happy that they still are among us. For those special few who remember how to use the plants for healing. With one mind, we send thanks, giving in love, respect to the medicine and the keepers of the medicine. Now our minds are one. We put our minds together as one and thank all the birds who move and fly among overhead. Creator gave them the gift of beautiful song. Each morning they greet us, each day with their song to enjoy life and appreciate it. To all the bird life, we send our joyful greeting and thanks. And now our minds are one. Okay, yes. Now we turn to the west, where our grandfathers, the thunder beings, live. With lightning, thundering voices, they bring with them the water that renews life. We bring our minds together and as one send greetings and thanksgiving to the grandfathers, the thunders. And now our minds are one. And lastly, we now send our greetings and thanks to our eldest brother, the sun. Each day, without fail, he travels the sky from east to west, bringing the light of a new day. He is the source of all the fires of life. Ooh, he is the source of all fires of life. Let us feel that right in there. With our mind, we send greetings to the grandfather and to the brother son. Now our minds are one. And let us not forget the grandmother, the moon, as she dictates and navigates the tides. She dictates and navigates the ebb and flow of the cycles of life. Our cycles. I believe our next full view of her will be tomorrow. And I invite you to just look out and appreciate it. And like I said to Tina, realize that wherever you are, if we're all looking together, we're all under the same moon. And that grandmother, she loves us. And she walks us through those dark times. And so we bring our minds together and say, and now our minds are one. And the reason why this Thanksgiving prayer, this gratitude, this reciprocity was so meaningful to me was not only because of the absolute truth and beauty of it, but about the recognition that we in this movement, in this philosophy, have held for a very long time, back from the Upanishads, the Vedas, that there is one mind. And so long as we recognize that mind is in the tree and in the plant and in the fish and in the air and in the sky and in us, we are one. And we bring ourselves together with that whole. And we can never, ever be left alone. And so I invite us to say together in this community, our minds are one. Don't worry, you still get to be that rebellious outcast. And so I had the honor and privilege of sharing space and time with two of the most amazing and incredible wisdom keepers. Just to get to be in their presence, my goodness. And so we have, of course, I already spoke about her, our teacher of teachers, Reverend Juanita Gardner, Reverend Dr. Juanita Gardner. Yeah. Yes, I don't know if you knew that. You have a DD also, right? And our Reverend Dr. Ricki Byars. It's all good. You're a preacher to me. And oh my goodness, I wish you could have seen some of these Zoom calls because they were hilarious. As spiritual as we all are, we're all a bit vain too. I did an impromptu promo and they were like, whoa! So it was adorable and sweet and fascinating and wonderful. And so I just want to now have a conversation with these amazing women. And you have tea, and I made you guys special cups. Aha. Oh, Reverend Juanita. Oh, Ricki.
Yes.
It don't matter, huh? Life on life's terms. Miss Ricki couldn't find a ride. or some such. She got here.
Well, the thing is that I don't know about you, but sometimes I don't feel so safe on the freeway driving these days. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And because it seems like the world is just going bam. And it's going so much faster than me. And I think that's part of our traveling in life. And so I had said to myself, especially after being at the Hollywood Bowl last night, to see my daughter just rip it up. my baby opened at the Hollywood Bowl.
Is it on YouTube?
I hope so.
Okay.
Let's just say Grace Jones would be proud. But anyway, Georgia is herself. So anyway, after that and the Uber thing, I was like, I'll just Uber. Out here and not drive at all. Well, the Uber person felt like they changed their mind. And then there was no cars available. So the universe is like, you can drive. You got this. And we have you. We have you. You can do this. But it wouldn't put me on the freeway, But I eventually got on the freeway anyway, because I switched over from Google to Waze. Sometimes you got to switch over. So then I had two voices talking to me. Okay. But the male voice was not quite up on the woman. She was like, yeah. But at the end, she said, turn on 5th, and then you'll be there. He said, turn on Marina. So they were both right. They were both right.
Know.
So I'm just very thrilled to be here, not just because I got here, but because I got that I don't have to throw in the towel on my driving. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have to give up. We don't have to do things.
Because she does not live around here, let me tell you.
Well, the thing is, but I think, because you're so young, but you got the things that bother you and call that you want to, we all do. We all do. When we say, you know what? I don't want to be doing that at this time in my life. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, I just took the microphone.
Yeah, you did.
But shoot, I took a lot to get here.
I did call Reverend Doctor Reverend.
But it's like, it was like the universe is like, hey, we have you, and you can do what you want to do, but don't do it. Don't not do it because you're afraid. That you're afraid, especially when your 94-year-old uncle with the amputated leg is driving back and forth from Savannah to his little backwood town in Georgia with no fear. Right. You know, if Uncle George can do that, I can drive from LA here to Philippines.
Yeah.
I'm back on the road.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And so, well,
we can go over 5 minutes.
I just wanted to ask you, so I have done a little bit of a survey.
Yes.
Yeah. And I've asked some of the congregants what they wanted to know about you, what question they wanted to ask. You ready for it?
If they're ready.
How does Ricki Byars stay so in that zone, in that spiritual goodness all the time?
Who asked that question?
I know. She's raising her hand.
I don't know, but I don't hear the answer. So this over there. There we go.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. She was out there to greet me to come in. I think the word spiritual might throw me because I feel like my work is to be in the present, is to be in this now moment right now. That if I can stay present, then I can hear the information that's coming. So, and if it looks holy, if it looks spiritual, that's good. That means my work has been good through the years. You know, we can't make ourselves spiritual. We can't do it. We can't even make ourselves surrender. But we can breathe and allow something greater to show up. And something greater always does because it's always here. But sometimes we're in the way. Our fear is in the way.
Oh, yeah. And I got to watch a TED Talk last night that said, it was talking about leaders and how they, you know, everybody looks up to them, but then if they fall off their podium, you know, their high horse or whatever, then people go, ah! And so I was thinking, oh, do they not know that we are human too?
Right. Yeah.
So I'm sure there are times when all of us have our human stuff, right?
Exactly.
No matter how much work we do and no matter.
Yeah.
And so there's two stories that I was so inspired by that you shared, and I don't know which one you feel called to share.
Well, excuse me,
Yes, go
Reverend.
ahead.
I want to know how she stays holy.
Oh, okay, I already know that.
How does she stay spiritual? How do you do it?
Speak to us, teacher.
God.
Speak to us.
Oh yeah. Oh well. Wow. That's a big question for me. I don't know. I don't know how. There's so much that I could say about that. I don't think of myself as spiritual necessarily either.
That might be it.
I see myself as someone who, and this is talking from my heart, I want to be a transparency for spirit. So I have a big forgiveness practice, which, you know, was a big forgiveness practice. And I love that what the indigenous people say, that if you heal yourself, you heal 7 generations back and 7 generations forward. That is part of my big practice. And healing 7 generations back, being the ancestor or the descendants, I should say, of African Americans and as slaves and slave owners. I think that if I work on myself, I'm healing all that stuff, all that energy that happened those generations ago. And when I get to, I'm at that place now where I see I want to heal myself and heal all of our stuff in the background, and that because we all have been traumatized in some way, and I try to treat people like I know their story.
Wait.
What?
I try to treat people like I know their story.
That's
What's that?
yeah, that's my practice, and that's I think.
What does that mean?
Well, you know, as I said, everybody's been traumatized in some way.
Yeah.
And my experience is there's been a lot of abuse in a lot of situations, physical and spiritual, and people have their facade going. So you don't see these stories. You don't see what their experience were. And the idea that they show up so and so much integrity to me, and show up so what I can say, sane after all the things they've gone through.
And hope.
And yes,
Hopeful,
yes,
yeah.
hopeful. And so that's why I try to treat them like our story, like I know their story. I know you can never know anyone's story, but again, if we've all been traumatized, we all have the same feelings. We might have a different experience, but we all have the same feelings.
Oh, shit.
So that's my practice. That's all I have to say.
Hey.
Yes.
Hey.
What? And I know that there is a song of hers that brings you to that place of knowing that if this is this, then this is this, and it was so deep and profound and simple at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Would you mind sharing that?
Well, the song that I like that Ricki wrote and sings, and I just love her music. Her music, her lyrics just speak to my heart. Is If God Is All There Is. Now I don't know the title, but I know the words. That's what speaks to me. If God is all there is, then everything must be God. Everything must be God. No matter what it looks like, no matter what I feel in the moment, if God is all there is, then everything must be God. So and we do 5 steps of prayer or 5 steps of treatment. And I like the word treatment because I'm treating my mind to remember the truth, to remember that God is all there is, and therefore all is God. And so I just love that. And when we do the 5 steps, if I can say that, which is step 1 to me, then it all falls in divine order. It's all good. It's all God.
For those of you who are new here, step 1 in our 5-step prayer treatment is recognition, recognizing that God is all there is, that whatever synonym you want to use, the divine, unified field, I don't know, the doorknob, that power greater than we are, right?
Right. It's just a wonderful philosophy. My favorite saying by Ernest Holmes.
I know. I'm so glad I was going to ask you.
I
Go for
love
it.
that.
Do it.
It's from selfish reasons alone. If from no loftier reason we cannot afford to find fault, to hate, or hold in mind against any living soul. And I think of that like a boomerang. I put out only what I want to receive. And so you can't afford to find fault, to hate, or hold in mind anything against any living soul.
And that brings us to like the lowest point of ourselves, right? If for no loftier reason.
Right, exactly. And
then us not having the repercussions of the cause and
yes. And I like that, from selfish reasons alone, So, because I want only the good stuff. So it sounds like it might be magnanimous. I can't say the word now. It sounds like it might be big, but for selfish reasons alone, I want the good stuff, So we all have to, anyway, that's how I see it. So that's my favorite by him.
Oh. Ernest Holmes, he said that this science of mind philosophy was a correlation of the laws of science, the opinions of philosophy, and the revelations of religion applied to human needs and the aspirations of mankind. And so it's about being here now, and I think that's what you so represent. I remember when I first started coming here, you always were the one with the long line behind you of people who wanted to pray with you. I was like, there's something about that woman. But look at these two. Look at these two. To be in the midst of this,
Look at you.
I like sit at their feet. They're,
Look at her, so young and so knowing.
I don't know what I know. I don't know, I'm full of something, right?
Full of wonder.
Oh, gosh.
Jeez. So, do you mind sharing a story about?
Do you have time?
We have time. We do. There has to be.
Yeah.
So there is a song that I so love, and she shared the story behind it with me. And why I think I would love her to share this with all of us is because it reminds me, and maybe it'll remind you, that taking a moment for some time and space, whatever moment was given to you, out of that can create, oh my goodness. Would you share the story behind Sun is Rising?
Yes. So I have this song, The Sun is Rising, on me today. Anybody ever heard that? The sun, if you haven't heard it, raise your hand. If you haven't heard The Sun is Rising. Okay, all right. So The Sun is Rising is a song that I wrote, and but the way the song emerged was that I was I was in a prayer call with Mary Mann and Marcy, who used to be my prayer partner, and we used to pray twice a week together early in the morning. And so I called her, and when I called her, she said, well, let me call you back in 10 minutes. I got to finish, because she was on the call before then. And any of you know Mary, she's talking all the time with classes and different things. So she says, call me back. She says, I'll call you in 10 minutes. So in the time that it took her to call me back,
10 minutes.
I was in this room that faces the east, and I was just looking out of the window, and the sun was rising, and it was so beautiful. And I just started singing. The sun is rising on me today. The sun is rising on me today. I'm feeling better in every way because the sun is rising on me. And I was just, but I wasn't singing it as loud as that. I was just like, sun is rising on me. Because that's where the music comes. I don't really know a song is coming.
It's amazing.
It's just flowing.
You said that there was like some stuff going on.
Yeah, well, yeah, there was some other stuff. So with that particular one, that's the way the song emerged. Mary calls me back, and I said, guess what? I have a new song. And I started to sing, and she was like, oh my God, Ricki, that's beautiful. And I go to the piano, and I'm playing it because, on my little microphone, and she's listening, and she says, it's a great song. I didn't have the middle part. The middle part emerged in service when I was at Agape, and I went in the back room to work on the song. No, actually, Michael Beckwith was speaking in his sermon, and he said in his sermon, in the middle of it, he says, rise and find it, rise and shine it, rise with me today. He was saying this, rise and find it, rise and shine it, rise with me today. And I'm listening to him, I'm going like, oh, that's the middle part. Rise and find it, rise and shine it, rise with me today, It's rise and find it. And then he said, my name is marvelous. I mean, who says my name is marvelous? Peace do I proclaim. And I'm right. And so then he goes on to his other points. I run in the back, and I go to the piano, and I find the middle chords. You know what I'm talking about. I go in the back and found the middle chords, and I was like, oh. So then I go back out, and I'm singing this song, but I'm singing this song thinking of my friend Jasmine Knauer, who's a great designer, who designed the skirt, by the way. This is a Jasmine Knauer design, and the skirts were made in Bali. But she had a bad accident. The Hummer had run over her car. She had a little Scion, and it had run over the car. So, it's like a Hummer running over her head, pretty much. And she was in a coma, and they were saying that they might have to release the life support system for her because she had been in that coma. And it was just like, I knew that she could make it. I just knew she could. I just wanted her to because I love Jasmine. Jasmine's such a pure spirit, man. And so when I'm singing this song, guess who I'm singing the song to? I'm singing it to Jasmine, right? So I'm singing the song, and then Michael answers prayer, and, we do Blessed Always, and, whatever it was we were singing that day, and that was it. And then somebody comes and tells me, Jasmine just woke up. She just woke up from the coma.
That is instantaneous prayer, ladies and gentlemen. That is mental healing.
She woke, and so when I told Jasmine, she's like, I don't know anything about what you're talking about. I didn't hear no song. I didn't hear anything. I was just happy to be alive, and I was just wondering why this is the finger that's sticking up. Because her fingers would take a moment for her fingers, but this finger was sticking up. She said, I just got to learn how to put that finger down. So that's Jasmine's song. Oh. Want to hear it?
What? Yes.
So I was just so moved that Reverend Nicole discovered the song and that it could mean so much to us.
I think I've shared it about 1 million times.
Yeah, I'm really honored. And I'm honored to be here. Good morning, everybody. And my mom also has a recording of this. My mother loved this song. My mom, Mama Byars, passed away last year at the age of 94. And but she used to love singing this song. Sun is rising on me today. Sun is rising on me today. I'm feeling better in every way because the sun is rising on me. All that made me sad is gone away. All that felt so bad and in my way. Where my heart was bound is freed, I say. 'Cause the sun is rising on me. Rise and find it, rise and shine it, rise with me today. My name is marvelous, peace do I proclaim. Rise in me today. Goodbye to the sadness, goodbye to the shame. Rise with me today. Sun is rising on me today. Sun is rising on me today. Let's feel better in every way because the sun is rising on me. The sun is rising on you. Oh yeah. The sun is rising on me. Thank you.
As we conclude this message and speak my word of prayer, recognizing that right here where I stand, where we stand, is on holy ground. I recognize that there is one life, one power, one great goodness, one beauty and truth, and that is the divine, and that is love, and it is peace, and it is joy, and it is ours right here and now as we proclaim it. We live and move and have our being in this thing that we call the divine, this thing that we call a mighty, mighty good. Being the ears and the eyes and the voice and the movement of the God. I know that God cannot do anything for us but that which it can do through us. And so I know that right here and now I proclaim that we are vessels. We are open and receptive to that great good, that greater good that is always, always pushing and pulling us forward. I am seeking my good, and my good is my God. So says Emma, because it draws and pushes and moves me on, and I speak this truth as ours. We are seeking our good, and our good is our God, because it draws and pushes and moves us forward. And in love and in gratitude, with tears of gratitude for this community, for this life, for everything that is transpiring in better and better ways, I say thank you. Yes, thank you, more please. Yes, thank you, more please. And so it is.